Gwenpool used to be a comic book reader, until she woke up in a world where the characters she read about seemed to be real. But they can't be, right? This must be all a hoax or an imaginary story or something, and that means no consequences. With that philosophy, Gwenpool just may be Marvel's least responsible character to date. Welcome everybody to another exciting episode, another edition of A Week in Geekdom here on YouTube. I am your host, Giovanni Menendez, and today I am talking about Gwenpool. Yes, not Gwen Stacy, not Deadpool, the Gwenpool. Now, I know what you're thinking. Did you really just buy into the hype and get this book? Let me explain myself. I said in a few videos ago that I really enjoyed big, bright, and colorful things on this channel, and Gwenpool just provided that. Now, before I start talking about the actual book, which I'll show you in a minute, I want to take you a trip down a memory lane, and it is, of course, back in 2015 when we were just gushing over the fact that Secret Wars was about to end the 616 universe and transform it into whatever the heck it is now. And a character known as Gwenpool showed up. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell is Gwenpool? Basically, Gwenpool started as an amalgam of Gwen Stacy and Deadpool from a variant cover of Deadpool's Secret Wars issue number 2. It was one of 20 variant covers published due to the popularity of Spider-Gwen in June 2015. And you know, as a result of this, Marvel said, hey, there is something about this character that people are liking, especially the cosplay crowd, which I remember a lot of people dug the hell out of that costume, and they were cosplaying Gwenpool left and right. So Marvel, being Marvel, for whatever good that is, decided, you know what, let's exploit this character and let's make something cool out of it. And this is one of those rare occasions where the inception or the origin of this character has no sense, and really she shouldn't be there, but it just works somehow. I was not a huge fan at first of what the character meant and it represented, but you know what? At the end of the day, I gave it a shot anyways, and it turned out to be quite a surprising hit. I love this title simply because it is fun, it is quirky, it knows its audience, it knows when to have fun, and the humor is actually really freaking funny. I found myself laughing, reading panel after panel, and seeing all the sight gags and slapstick humor and some dark humor, and it had a little bit of everything. And in the midst of this controversial bubble of variant created characters that are now inhabiting their own comic book title, there is a little bit of heart in there, and she is a character that you can root for, but not entirely, because you don't know her motivations. Basically, her name is not actually Gwenpool, it's actually Gwenpool. That's her last name, Pool. I know, it's very weird, but it's spelled differently than what you might think. When the story first picks up, you don't get an origin right away, and that is one of the best things I can talk about this book, which is the fact that it knows that it has an uphill battle to gain readers, because yes, well, there are a few adventurous readers out there. There's this core base of Marvel comic book readers that just said, no, I'm not reading it, but if you give it a shot, it just might surprise you. The Unbelievable Gwenpool Volume 1. Basically, without spoiling too much, the story first picks up in a backup feature, if you will, of Howard the Duck. One of the more recent Howard the Duck issues. I get confused with all the revamps and crazy shenanigans that the editorial team does at Marvel with rebooting everything at #1. That's a separate topic right there. But Gwenpool first starts with the character interacting with Howard, and she is trying to get this super secret deadly virus that was in the hands of Black Cat but was stolen, and Hydra has it, and a lot of cool, weird, and odd things happen, and Howard the Duck is in there. How odd is that? Now then, Gwenpool shows up in a holiday Christmas special issue from 2015, and then of course we have her main series. It is very colorful, very pinkish, very Katamari Damacy, if that makes any sense to me. I just made that term up, but if you know the game, basically you just have this explosion of colors and this crazy Japanese-esque weirdness just going around. That's sort of what Gwenpool is to me. But the character, like I said, she has some heart. The character knows that she is not from the Marvel comic universe. She is actually supposedly from our universe, where all these characters are fictional characters in comic books. She gets transported into the Marvel Comics universe and lots of adventures begin. She tries to fight a giant serpent with swords, and then she tries to fight with the agents of MODOK. MODOK shows up in one of my favorite panel drawings ever. This was, as soon as it came out, I fell in love with this drawing, of course being a cool little nod to My Neighbor Totoro. And just the fact that Gwenpool knows every single secret of the Marvel universe, that makes her a very lethal asset. And if she's placed in the wrong hands, she could basically dismantle the whole Marvel universe. Did you ever think about that? No, because you're busy comparing her to Deadpool. Great, fun little story. It won't wow everybody, but if you give it a shot, it just might surprise you. And just the structure of the book, the way it goes back and forth with the character narration basically being Gwenpool acknowledging that she's just thinking out loud, that if she is now a part of a comic book, then you're hearing her thoughts. And that is genius, in my opinion. And it's stuff like that. It's the little hints, it's the little sight gags when when Gwenpool is fighting a character and she knows she's outmatched, and all these weird and random expressions on her face that are just a delight and actually pretty funny. One of the big highlights of this book is the art. I am not a huge fan of the first art that you see in the Zero issue and the Christmas special and all that stuff. However, I am a huge fan of and I'm gonna have to read it because Gurihiru. And if you don't know who Gurihiru is, they're also credited as Gurihiru Studios, basically an illustration team consisting of two women, Shifuyu Sasaki and Naoko Kawano. Their art is simply amazing. I love it so much, and it fits the character so damn well. Giving her that manga and anime feel is perfect for a character that relies on visual gags and cues and just a colorful adventure. Now, my one big negative, I don't like the fact that she's a mercenary and that well, obviously she's a mercenary, so she's going to be shooting up people and killing everybody and getting money for it. But then you see her without the mask and in her innermost thoughts, and you see that she is a nice girl, a nice character. She wants to be a hero, but she's not doing the deeds of a hero. Maybe that's how the character is going to progress moving forward. I haven't read anything beyond the first trade, so I don't know yet. You guys might know more about this than I do, and you do get hints, by the way, of her origin story. And I'm not going to spoil it, but the things that we do get to see are actually pretty deep and pretty heartbreaking that I would not expect from a character like this. So guys, tell me down below what you thought of Gwenpool. As always, you can follow me on your favorite social media platform, from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and many more. Just type a Week in Geekdom, and I'm there for you guys. Alright, thank you for liking, subscribing, and doing all that awesome stuff that you guys do. I have to run, I have to read more books. Alright, I gotta go. I will catch you on our next episode. You know, if the name were different and the story were different, I'm pretty sure a lot of haters would actually be backing up the book.